Hey y'all, welcome to Breaking Food, and in this video I do want to review a watch that I kind of liked, and it's a cool looking watch, and it's something where a lot of people don't really talk about in general, except for one watch lineup that most people tend to focus on because of what it represents and the price point. Um, but this watch, honestly, I think it's pretty cool from a collection that kind of summarizes what the 80s and 90s were. And it is a watch from the Neon collection. So yeah, let's get started. This is from the Neon collection, and this specific one is called Neon Emerald. It is a chronograph Swatch watch. It will house the same exact movement that the Moon Swatch will have, but one thing I do like about this over the Moon's watch in terms of features is not a lot of people really talk about when purchasing watches, but this has a date function, which funny enough the Moon's watch doesn't have, and you're paying almost double the price point of this watch. So yeah, it is a neon watch. It's more of like a fun take on a neon watch, kind of less pinkish and greenish and kind of like a different color. You can call this the watermelon watch, or if you're gonna consider it as a holiday watch in a sense, a Christmas watch with a green and red color. So this is a chronograph watch. Typically what a chronograph function does is it's really a timer for the watch. As you can see, it does have everything labeled. You got the minutes for the stopwatch, the 1/10 of a second, which is decimals, and then the red dial, the yellow dial at the 12 o'clock hour is the seconds for the actual stopwatch, while the small green dial down there will be the seconds for the actual time itself. Under a UV light, it does shine really cool, kind of gives off that neon light vibe. I do like how comfortable the strap is that comes with this. Typically with a watch like the Moon's watch, it comes with more of an uncomfortable one. You know, the Velcro one, you do have to go out of your way to spend the extra 45 bucks on a new strap from the Swatch website, or you do have to go with third party. While with this, it's integrated really well, uh, and I do like the way that the strap looks. Honestly, this is my favorite watch next to my first ever watch into the world of watches, which I bought this back in, I want to say 2016, which Watch no longer makes, but you can get the, once again, which is a small face white dial, which Pope Francis wore before he passed away. And there's a version of it in a bigger size, this size, called Twice Again. Um, yeah, this has the day and date, which is pretty cool. It's more of like a minimal look. I do like this just because it's fun, unique, and it's translucent, so you get to see the gear, the actual mechanics of the watch on the back. And it kind of reminds me of the Apple computers, the iMac back in the early 2000s with that aqua look to it, you know. And this actually, in a sense, is kind of like the Scuba watch, which I really love. Um, these are my two favorite watches, with both of them having lume. Obviously, with this one being a diver watch, so it will have an amazing lume. But this, you can't go wrong. So the hands do glow in the dark for sure. I do like how the buttons are colorful. Obviously, you can always make it go wrong with the neon vibe, but the way that this is made, it's pretty cool. Uh, Honestly, I do like the way that the watch looks. Obviously, with the chronograph, um, back in the day, you used to measure time and distance for race cars. That's why you have this up here, all these numbers around. It's for the distance and time, right? Because it was made for timing cars. So it's pretty cool. Well, honestly, this is something to get. Usually in this day and age, a lot of kids wear smartwatches and a lot of adults do wear it. But it's the thing where like certain jobs obviously require you to shut down your smartphones and watches and give your electronics away, or put them in a locker or whatever. And with school, typically, obviously, you're not allowed to have your phone in class or use it during tasks, and you're not allowed to have your smartwatch. So I would say I made something like this where it's a little bit fun. It's versatile. It does have cool functions, with the date function and with the chronograph function. It is a pretty cool watch, and with the design, it's pretty fun. It's something that I can see people daily wear if they want to get something fun. And I always tell this to a lot of my customers. You want to get something that you like, something a little bit fun. Typically, with a lot of these watches, it's going to be the same old design and the same colors. Silver, white, black, or maybe more of like a dark bluish color. Stuff like that. You want something a little bit fun, a little bit pop out, and usually you're not gonna have one watch for the whole entire life. Obviously, especially if you don't have a watch, you have a smartphone to tell the time. If you're gonna buy a watch, at least be something that you like, that's fun and whatnot. So yeah, it is a collection that came out not too long ago. I want to say it came out around October. It is a pretty cool collection in itself. Um, it did come out. It was part of 6 new neon watches that came out that was added to the neon collection. And this was one of the new watches that I liked a lot and something that grows on me. Yes, so there is a jet watch in the new neon collection release. There was a new skin lineup. There was a new skin neon watch that came out with it. Obviously two standard biosource chronos, and there was two big bolts. One of the big bolt is a chrono, but I do like this overall, honestly. And something that's fun and cool, something amazing to own. So yeah, and I mean this is something I would say as kind of cool, like this gent that I got. New gent that I got not that long ago. It's a 2018 Team USA Winter Olympics, as you can see. Um, it has a little Olympic USA badge down here. I did review the last year, and when it was I did review a chronograph Swatch watch, and I did purchase it last year, and it was for the last year's Olympic, which I reviewed. Obviously, it's the same exact watch, but in part of the neon collection. And I generally feel like a lot of watch reviewers, obviously when a new Casio Timex drops and they review a budget watch, obviously those or something like Hamilton, Tissot, Orient, or something like that. I don't see much reviewers talk about a Swatch watch unless if it was a Blancpain Swatch collaboration or a Moonswatch. Obviously, those will get the headline attention since it's in collaborations with bigger brands. But I mean, this is something where it's like, hey, it's a cool watch to own, and this is something I would buy. Obviously, I was gifted this from the company. The company gave me these two to wear. It's honestly pretty cool. Um, this is a cool diverse watch. Obviously, it's not a screw down crown, but it's something cool. And one thing I do like is the fact that the crown's on the other side, because a lot of times people want to wear on the other wrist. Generally, most people will wear it on their left hand when they're right-handed, but I know a lot of left-handed people do wear their watches on the right hand, or a lot of right-handed people will wear their watch on the right hand. Now, it is a thing I will tell a lot of y'all. Whenever you do wear a watch, it's always suggested to have the crown on the opposite direction. So, like, let's say if I'm wearing a watch on this wrist, this is pointing out the other way. So I do want the crown to face towards the hand itself. And so if I'm gonna have a watch on this wrist, I'm gonna wear a watch like this where the crown does, obviously follow this pattern in a sense. So that's usually the case. But this is something where it's like pretty fun and cool to own. Obviously, they're pretty unique. I love these watches, honestly. This is pretty cool. I don't have my digital watch right next to me, but that digital Swatch watch I had reviewed, it's honestly pretty cool. And I wish Swatch continued making those digital watches, because the technology they actually did use for that Swatch watch is actually, I would say, it's revolutionary. And I wish it was, they kept making it, because I honestly think it was the most underrated digital watch, and the technology they used to like kind of like make the UI is so much cooler than like a standard digital watch you buy from like a Timex or Casio and G-Shock brand or whatnot. Which I'm not saying that it sucks, but the UI on that is pretty cool. So yeah, is it worth buying? Yeah, honestly, I think it's worth buying. The price point on this is like around $135. Obviously it was hit with tariffs. It was like $130. $5 increase. I know some of the Swatch watches did go up in value. By like from like $5 to $15. I know. Like something like the Moon Swatch went from 270 to $285. This obviously had a $5 increase. These had like also $5 increase, and same with this, the $5 increase, which isn't bad, honestly. For a Swatch watch, a great value and whatnot. It is a thing where, like I always mention in any of the Swatch reviews, when I review a Swatch watch, always buy a Swatch watch in store, just because you do get the free 2-year warranty with the watch, and that will cover anything mechanical. So if anything goes wrong, you go to any Swatch around the world, because it is a worldwide thing. You replace it with a new one, the same model, with a new 2-year warranty. And all these watches are apparently like free lifetime battery. If you don't get an automatic watch, it is free lifetime battery replacement, which is pretty cool. And it does come with free buffering on the watch face, which is cool for life. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. As always, please stay tuned for more content. If you have any questions or want to comment down below, let me know what kind of watches you have. If you have any Swatch watches, what kind are they? Comment down below. What kind of watches do you have in general, and what's your fun watch in your watch collection? Thank you, and stay safe.